So the creators of the Waltons made it kind of a habit, a good habit of having black characters in their show of different genres. You had a boxer that wanted to be a minister who was using the pugilism game to build his church. You had veterans, you had people on the run. But this character actress, Lynn Hamilton, my God, when she played Verdie, she lit up the screen like you wouldn't believe. A proud black woman who was a family person, who believed in not only the celebration of the black community, but all communities. And Lynn Hamilton, unfortunately, has passed away. Now, the native of Yazoo City, Mississippi, was passed away June 19th at age 95. And like I said, a very big loss. Now, Alizina Lynn Hamilton was an American actress. She was best known, again, for recurring roles as Donna Harris, Fred Sanford's girlfriend and later fiancée on Sanford and Son, and of course Verdie Grant Foster on the Waltons from 72 to 81. Now, another big role she had, she also portrayed cousin Georgia Anderson in Roots: The Next Generation. Now, born in Yazoo City, Mississippi to Nancy and Louis Hamilton, they eventually moved to Chicago Heights, Illinois when she was 12. She attended the prestigious Bloom High School, and she studied acting at the very, very, very strong Goodman Theater. Now, Hamilton began her career in community theater in Chicago and debuted on Broadway in Only America in 1959. She appeared in 3 other Broadway plays, many off-Broadway selections, and she also spent 3 years with the New York Shakespeare Festival. After initial appearance in the 7th episode of the series as a landlady, Hamilton starred as Fred Sanford's girlfriend, as an on-again, off-again fiancée Donna Harris on the television sitcom, Sanford and Son. Now, Donna was a nurse and sometimes took care of Fred. When the show returned in 1980 under a reworked title Sanford, Hamilton was not asked to return. Well, she was on the Waltons, of course, and her character was written out of the series. There are many internet claims that she was the younger sister of actress LaWanda Page, who portrayed Esther Anderson on Sanford and Son, confirmed only via LaWanda Page's obituary in the LA Times. However, they are neither related nor sisters, though they were good friends. In addition to Hamilton's role on Sanford and Son, her recurring role as Verdie Grant Foster in the Waltons was a very dramatic and special episode, which is literally trying to find her roots, which I think she takes one of the Walton brothers to help her on her quest. And she made numerous appearances on in TV sitcoms, soap operas, and miniseries such as Good Times, 227, Dangerous Women, Generations, the General Hospital spin-off Port Charles, The Golden Girls, Gunsmoke in a late episode as Mother of Tabitha, in the 69 episode The Sisters, and of course Roots: The Next Generations. Hamilton also appeared in the show Barnaby Jones, playing the character named Laura Paget in an episode titled Sunday Doomsday on February 4th, 1973. She also appeared on Mannix in the season 3 episode 13 as a wife of police detective who hires Mannix to save her son. She also had a recurring role as Judge Fulton on The Practice. Now, the idea about Lynn's character development, she was sort of like a behind-the-scenes character in the Waltons, where she was a cleaner for, I think, one major character that came back, but his wife had already died, and she was filling in the blanks. But of course, when she asked John Boy to learn how to read, she wanted to better herself all the time. By the end of the series, she was one of the stronger characters and one of the most real characters on the Waltons. Now, she had a very long and successful marriage to poet and playwright Frank Jenkins for almost 50 years, from November 64 until his death some 11 years ago. LaWanda Page, who co-starred with Hamilton on Sanford and Son, had her younger sister coincidentally also named Lynn Hamilton. This caused a rumor that the two actresses were sisters. Seriously, Demond Wilson confirmed the rumor to be false in 2016. She died, of course, at her home in Chicago 2 days ago on June 19th. Now, filmography, very strong. Shadows, Girl at Party, this is non-Broadway, 58. The New Girl, 1960, short film. Brother John, 71. 7 Minutes, also 71. Buck and the Preacher, of course, with Sidney Poitier. Lady Sings the Blues, co-star Diana Ross. Sanford and Son for 5 years. The Waltons for 8 years. Hang Up, she played Mrs. Ramsey. Leadbelly the Movie, Sally Leadbetter. The Jesse Owens Story, she played Mama Solomon, very underrated movie. 227 as Emma Johnson for 3 years. Legal Eagles in 86 as Doreen. Dangerous Woman for a season as Sissy Johnson. Generations for 2 years as Vivian Porter, a very strong performance. The Vanishing in 93 as Miss Carmichael. On The Practice for 5 years, Judge P. Fulton. On Moesha, played Ruth Mitchell. And her last role, of course, Bia, A Black Woman Speaks. She played Dr. Obelhorser. So Lynn Hamilton, if you like to go into the Waltons archive, which I'm going to do right now to back it up, because I think that's her most important role. And a luminous actress for sure. Now the Waltons, like I said, after Will Geer passed away, Will Geer was a very strong multiracial supporter, and I think it became more into focus what Lynn did on the Waltons. Now in Canada on Vision, Waltons are shown on a regular basis, but these are the unedited versions. I know for a fact that some of her scenes were cut out when it was broadcast in the South. But again, Verdie's character was all Lynn. Lynn was asked, I think, by People magazine many years ago, exactly what was her favorite role. I know. I don't think it's sad to say that the Waltons again brought her in more households. Right? Now again, she had one child, a daughter by Frank, of course, good friend with Marla Gibbs, and she did retire from acting in 2009. Now, it's kind of ironic, ladies and gentlemen, if you go into her IMDb, very beautiful lady, by the way, it's kind of a short version, and this is what they said at IMDb, the mini biographer. A veteran actress, she made her film debut in Shadows, directed by great John Cassavetes. Again, best known for Donna Harris and Verdie on the Waltons. And there was talk about a nomination for actually Generations for Best Guest Role, but it never came in. Now, Lynn basically such a successful life. So whether you remember her from the Waltons when John Boy was learning how to read, or her son was coming home from the war, she had adopted a son. There was a lot. You might as well say Lynn's character could be spun off from the Waltons, because certain later episodes she was in like 10 or 15 minutes of scenes. You call it a second story. But when John Boy Walton, played by the great Richard Thomas, learned Verdie how to read, it wasn't out of pity. It was out of sharing the power of the word. And I regret never met her, because I went to a lot of celebrity events when my wife and I first got together in Rhode Island, different places. I met John Amos. I met a lot of the black actors that were there in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and everybody spoke highly of her. So the reason why I'm doing a podcast tonight, I never met you, Lynn, but I'd like to say thank you for all your beautiful work. You're a beautiful actress, inside and out. And in the words of Verdie, we all got to get along. You got to love one another. And I think that's what Lynn Hamilton did. What a beautiful life. And 95 years, I think another 5 or 10 years she can learn us a lot more. She was a beautiful person from what I heard. Very, very loving. And her husband was a great artist with his words. So, Lynn, you will live on in Canada on Vision TV. They'll never cancel that show. You're ageless. And Keanu Reeves once said, "What do you think happens when we die?" He said, "The people who love us will talk about us." Well, I'm talking about today. Sure, you might have died 2 years ago, but Lynn, you're still alive to me. And God bless you. Thanks for listening. If you like what we're doing here with our screenshots and remote control podcasts, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share.